So hello everyone and welcome back on in to the channel here today for a brand new video. So then, for today's video I did once again want to stay off of the topic of upcoming Ninjago 2024 content, as after a while I know it can definitely get repetitive to watch, especially when there is so many other interesting general Ninjago subjects out there which we can discuss, which is precisely what I am actually going to go ahead and do here today, as today I am talking about all things Ninjago in the world of video games. Surprising, I know. But Ninjago and video games either go together perfectly, or they clash quite dramatically and do not go well together at all. It all depends on who you ask at the end of the day. Ninjago has had a fair slew of video games, a lot of which were quite obviously cheap, low budget, quite laggy, sometimes even borderline unplayable mobile games that involved avoiding obstacles and just very simple, tedious other things of that nature. However, this wasn't always the case though, as the Ninjago movie video game exists, and that was, honestly, quite boring from what I've seen, but at least it was actually playable and wasn't really laggy and low budget in that regard. There's also the Shadow of Ronin, a game that came out a few years prior to that one, a video game that is surprisingly fairly popular amongst Ninjago fans, to a degree at least, but other than that, unless you're a fan of these particular games, this very niche genre of Ninjago games, then the chances are that, well, you're not really into Ninjago video games and you're just not a fan. Another very interesting detail, right, that we should all keep in mind moving forward with today's video is that back in the days, mostly before 2017, Ninjago video games were a very common occurrence, to the point where it was almost as if a new game would end up releasing pretty much every year, if not then even more than that. Sometimes even less than that, but at the end of the day it was fairly common, which is actually kind of mind-blowing to think about in the year of 2023, because since the Ninjago movie video game back in 2017, we haven't exactly had any, so it's been well over 5 years at this point since we've had a new Ninjago game properly released to us, which is why I'm making this particular video. A new Ninjago video game is precisely what Ninjago as a theme needs. I mean, just think about it, we have basically everything out there officially in terms of merchandise. We have plushes, we have lunchboxes, we have Halloween costumes, we even have a whole clothing line. Why not also come up with a brand new game? Especially at this current point in time, with 2023 being the very beginning of an entirely new series for Ninjago, of course in the form of Dragons Rising, a brand new, revamped video game could also be pretty great to see. A few ideas that I also have to add to all of this is, you know, the obvious. Have it be playable across most platforms like PC, maybe even consoles, mobile, especially mobile in fact, where most people will be able to access it, just considering, you know, the general public, people that might not have access to expensive consoles or anything like that. Of course, it absolutely does not have to be of the highest quality or anything. I'm really not going to be too fussy at this point in time, considering we have been starved of a new Ninjago game for years, but just give us something, you know? Considering we haven't had a new one for a while, again, as I was just touching on, I'm feeling pretty desperate, all things considered, so to be completely honest with you, it really would not take much to satisfy me at this current point in time. But that is just about going to conclude this one here. I'm not going to be getting into specifics as to what I want to see story-wise, because that isn't really my place to make all of that, because ultimately it's going to completely be my own opinion, and I don't think you guys are going to want to sit through a whole video of me just talking about an outlined idea for a Ninjago game, but I think this is basically going to do it for this one, just some general ideas I wanted to get out there. So at the end of the day, we need a new Ninjago video game desperately. But with all of this being said, again, that is going to conclude everything here. So with all of this being said, now that I'm done talking, I do encourage all of you to go ahead and leave any of your own personal thoughts on all of this down below in that comment section, guys. I would love to hear your own thoughts regarding all of this. As always, if you did enjoy this one here, please do go ahead and drop a like on it. Subscribe to the Overlord X channel for more. Oh, and while you guys are down there, go ahead and hit the notification bell so that you can keep up to date on all things Ninjago related right here on my channel. And with all of this being said, guys, I will see you all soon for a new video, so see you all soon. Goodbye, everybody.